And so we talked to you about law of attraction. We told you it was a powerful law. And we said to you, you get what you think about whether you want it or not. And we said to you, you can tell by the way you feel whether what you are thinking about is what you want or whether it is the absence of what you want. And then we began to explain to you that there is a vibrational reality that is the precursor of all manifested reality. It's the vibrational version. It's the version you practice in your mind. It's the version that you practice through living of life. It's a vibrational version. You are spinning off this vortex of powerful positive creation. Because when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. If you're rude, you want to be nice. If someone is rude, you want them to be nice. If you have not enough of something, you want it. The contrast helps you launch these rockets all day, every day. And we want you to understand that there's a vibrational version of what you desire that is a reality. It is a vibrational reality. That the source within you, that non-physical part of you that remains non-physical, that continuous, eternal, non-physical part of you that stands in non-physical support of everything that you are, that non-physical part of you stands with that vibrational reality that you have crafted, in part before you even came into this physical body, because there was certainly a trajectory, who stands now as the further culmination of everything that you have asked for, everything that you have singularly or collectively asked for. There is a vibrational reality about your world, the likes of which humans have not yet seen, but you have the potential of seeing, any one of you, as you begin to stop doing that thing you do that holds you in resistance to this vibrational reality, and therefore begin to allow yourself to be a vibrational match to your own vibrational vortex of creation. Now, if you've been listening to us for a while, you heard all of that. In fact, you've heard it and heard it and heard it. There was a book written, a New York Times best-selling book, on every one of those topics that we just talked about. And the most recent one was the vortex. The vortex. We said to you, get in the vortex, get in the vortex, do your best to get in the vortex, get in the vortex, get in the vortex, get in the vortex. And finally you said, how? You've convinced me that I want to be there. You've convinced me that it's the place to be. You've convinced me that when I am there, good things happen to me, but I'm not that sure how to get in. And we say, you do it by finding thoughts that feel good and practicing them until they are your chronic pattern. That's how you maintain that. So then we've moved a little beyond an explanation. As we now have you convinced, say yes or don't. Coercion is so satisfying and flies in the face of everything we know about law of attraction. So your vortex of creation is moving and gathering, and the source within you is there with it. And everything is queued up for your realization. But what does it take for you to be in a place where you realize, and by realize, we don't just mean you sort of see it in your mind. We mean you fully realize it. How does it move from a vibrational reality where you can feel it and sense it and be glad for it? And oh, that's a wonderful state of being. We want you all there all the time. But how does it move from that vibrational reality where you sense it, where you trust it, where you have faith about it, and where you can now see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it in the way that others can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it? How does it move from that vibrational reality that you are conjuring and creating all day, every day, into what you want to call real life experience? And that really is what the subject of the art of allowing is. It's really what the subject of understanding your point of attraction is. It's really about what the subject of waking up in the morning and realizing that while you slept, your momentum subsided. Ooh, so good to know. Most of you don't receive the benefit of that subsided momentum, because when you wake up, you pick up the subjects where they were yesterday and start talking about them again right away. So what's going to take place over the next hours and days of your experience are going to cause you to reflect back, as our friend did, on how you were feeling when this all got started. Really, friends, we are making way too much of all of this, because you're already set up for a wonderful life experience. We're just sort of shaving some of the rough edges off just a little bit. But what we always want to accomplish in a gathering like this is a heightening of your receptivity for the evidence of the manifestations. That's really the part that we like the most, because the creation is happening all around you, and your contribution to this time-space reality is irrefutable. The fulfilling your reason for being is so in place. Everything that you're about and all that you wanted when you decided to come here is taking place in perfect fashion. The only piece of it that could be improved is your moment-to-moment realization of the rightness of that which is you. And that's what you've just set yourself up for in a stronger way than you've ever done in anything that you've ever lived in all of life. You just queued yourself up. Esther has a dear friend who gave her these words a while ago. It's the setup. It's the setup. There's a setup. And if you haven't deliberately set it up, then you don't realize it when it comes full circle, you see. So pay attention to what's coming in the next few days and acknowledge whether it feels like it is a big manifestation or a small one. Remember, the bigness and the smallness only has to do with the amount of resistance that you've piled up in the corner of that before. There is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. There is no limitation for you. We can say to you unequivocally that your vortices are filled with things that we all know that you want, that in many cases you can't even accurately articulate or maybe even identify, because you have been putting the components of them there piece by piece by piece. But with this wobble-free practice that you are now upon, as these elements of what you've been asking for begin to be realized by you, there's going to be a conscious recognition of your part in that. And when you put the deliberateness in creation, that's when you put the fun into it. When you put the deliberateness in creation, that's when you put your feeling of worthiness. That's when you put your true empowerment in it. You would have lived just fine if you had lived all of the days of your life and not made it to this rendezvous. But because you made it to this rendezvous, and because you mentally, vibrationally, viscerally, emotionally rendezvoused with who you really are, all the days of your life are enhanced as a result of this focused time together. Be easy about it. Be playful about it. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain blissfully in your vortex.